Lorenzo "Fat Cat" Nichols stands out as one of the most infamous drug lords in the history of New York City. His life story encompasses the rise to power, the establishment of a ruthless drug empire, and a dramatic fall that culminated in betrayal and cooperation with law enforcement. To understand the full impact of his life, one must delve into the details of his upbringing, criminal activities, relationships with other notorious figures, and the societal context of the time. Lorenzo Nichols was born on December 25, 1958, in Birmingham, Alabama. His early life was marked by economic hardship and the struggles of growing up in a segregated and impoverished environment. Seeking better opportunities, his family moved to New York City, eventually settling in Jamaica neighborhood of Queens, a place that would become the epicenter of his criminal activities. In Queens, Nichols grew up amidst the hustle and bustle of urban life. The neighborhood was tough, with crime and violence being a part of everyday existence. From a young age, Nichols was exposed to the harsh realities of street life. The allure of quick money and power drew him into the world of petty crime. He began his criminal career with minor thefts, robberies, and gradually moved into more lucrative activities such as drug dealing. By the late 1970s, Nichols had firmly entrenched himself in the drug trade. The burgeoning cocaine and heroin markets in New York City offered enormous potential for those willing to take risks. Nichols was one of those willing individuals. He demonstrated a keen business acumen, quickly rising through the ranks to control a significant portion of the drug distribution in Queens. His reputation for ruthless efficiency earned him the moniker Fat Cat. Nichols was not just another drug dealer, he was a visionary who saw the potential for a structured and organized approach to the drug trade. He built an elaborate criminal network that was highly hierarchical and efficient. At the top of this hierarchy sat Nichols, overseeing every aspect of the operation. Below him were lieutenants and enforcers, who managed day-to-day operations, ensuring that his drug empire ran smoothly and profitably. Nichols' empire was supported by several key figures, each playing a crucial role in maintaining its dominance. One of his most trusted associates was Howard "Pappy" Mason, a feared enforcer known for his brutal methods. Mason was responsible for protecting Nichols' interests and ensuring that any threats to their operations were swiftly eliminated. Together, Nichols and Mason created a reign of terror that kept competitors and law enforcement at bay. Throughout the early 1980s, Nichols expanded his operations beyond Queens. His influence reached into other boroughs of New York City, and he established connections with other drug lords and criminal organizations. This expansion brought immense wealth, but it also attracted increased attention from law enforcement agencies, determined to stem the tide of drug-related violence and corruption. The level of violence associated with Nichols' operations was staggering. His methods included intimidation, beatings, and outright murder. One of the most infamous incidents tied to his reign was the murder of NYPD officer Edward Byrne in 1988. Officer Byrne was assassinated while guarding a witness in a drug case, a killing ordered by Nichols and carried out by Mason and his crew. This brazen act of violence shocked the city and the nation, prompting a massive crackdown on Nichols' operations. The murder of Officer Byrne marked a turning point in the war against Nichols. Law enforcement agencies, including the NYPD and federal authorities, intensified their efforts to dismantle his empire. Nichols' operations were meticulously investigated, revealing the vast extent of his criminal activities and the intricate network he had built. Surveillance, wiretaps, and informants provided crucial evidence that would eventually lead to his downfall. In 1985, Nichols was arrested on a variety of charges, including drug trafficking, murder, and conspiracy. The arrest was a significant blow to his operations, but it was only the beginning of his legal troubles. The prosecution's case against him was robust, built on a mountain of evidence gathered over years of investigation. In 1987, Nichols was convicted and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. The conviction marked the end of his reign as a drug kingpin, though his criminal empire continued to operate in his absence. While incarcerated, Nichols faced additional charges and ongoing legal battles. Seeking to reduce his sentence and improve his prison conditions, he made the controversial decision to cooperate with law enforcement. Nichols provided information on other criminal figures and activities. This cooperation was seen as a betrayal by many in the criminal underworld, but it allowed Nichols to negotiate better terms for himself within the prison system. Nichols' life in prison was marked by a mix of notoriety and relative comfort compared to other inmates. His cooperation with authorities earned him some leniency, though he remained a high-profile prisoner. Despite being behind bars, Nichols maintained connections with the outside world, advising younger criminals and staying informed about developments in the drug trade. His influence, though diminished, persisted within certain circles of the criminal underworld. The impact of Lorenzo "Fat Cat" Nichols on New York City was profound. His reign coincided with one of the most violent and turbulent periods in the city's history, marked by the crack cocaine epidemic and the resulting surge in crime. Nichols' operations contributed to the widespread availability of drugs and the associated violence that plagued many communities. His ruthless methods and high-profile crimes, such as the murder of Officer Byrne, underscored the deadly consequences of the drug trade. Nichols' life and criminal activities have been referenced in various forms of popular culture, including music, film, and literature. He is often portrayed as a symbol of the excesses and dangers of the drug trade, a cautionary tale of the corrupting influence of power and wealth. His story is a stark reminder of the challenges faced by law enforcement in combating organized crime and the human cost of the drug epidemic. Nichols' life is a complex narrative of ambition, violence, and eventual downfall. From his early days in Queens to his rise as a drug lord, Nichols exemplified the ruthless efficiency that characterized successful criminal enterprises. His arrest and conviction marked the end of an era, but his legacy continues to resonate in discussions about crime, punishment, and the ongoing struggle to address the root causes of the drug trade. Nichols' story is a vivid illustration of the dark side of the American dream, where the pursuit of power and wealth leads to destruction and infamy. In April 2022, Nichols was granted parole from state prison. He was released from Clinton Correctional Facility and transferred into federal custody.